we're going to be talking about a simple method that can allow you to reach out to brands or wholesalers, distributors, things like that. And the reason I wanted to do this video is I was listening to a podcast and I heard a quote, "Simple scales, fancy fails." And I know that we're always looking for the next way to get a leg up on the competition and things like that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't want anyone to forget the layups. And so I think every now and again we have to be reminded. Now, if you're not a basketball player, layup is one of the easiest shots to make. However, if you don't ever practice them and you're only trying to bring out your inner Steph Curry and hit three-pointers all day long, you're going to forget the proper way to do a layup. And when I was coaching basketball, it's something that I made the kids do every single time. It's not as fun, it's not sexy. However, layups will win games as long as you've got some good defense. So I want to talk about a very simple way to find products that you can then go and find brands and try to get either a distributorship with them, or a very easy thing to do is when you call up the brand and say, "Hey, do you guys wholesale to Amazon sellers, to e-commerce sellers?" If they say no, say, "Hey, yeah, no big deal. Do you happen to have any distributors in my area?" Very easy follow-up question that will often get you the name of a distributor in your area. Could get you several names, might even get you an entire list of distributors across the country, and it won't hurt to reach out to every single one of them. So let's talk about that first. Very first thing is, in a phone call or an email, you say, "Hey, do you guys sell to e-commerce sellers? Do you have wholesale available for e-commerce sellers?" "No, we really don't do that." "Oh, yeah, I totally understand. Do you happen to have a list of distributors that you work with that I might be able to reach out to instead?" Simple question, and can get a no turned into something that is actually usable for you, okay? But of course, how do we go and how do we find these particular products? I'm going to show you. We're going to be using Keepa, and we're going to go to the data section inside of Keepa. We're going to go to the product finder. And here's what I want to do when I'm looking for distributors. And this is going to be the exact method I use this summer. Going to be hiring an intern, okay, to come in and do some work for us. And this is the exact process. I'm going to give him this video, and he is going to go out and he's going to do this exact process for me. So what we're going to do is, in the sales rank, we are going to look for products that have a fairly solid, a sustainable sales rank. It's not something that is selling really quickly right now, but it's something that's selling consistently over time. And I'm not necessarily looking for the things that are blowing through inventory. I don't necessarily need products that are going to sell 2, 3, 4, 1,000 every single month. I'm happy if it sells 20, 30, 50 a month, because I will go wide and not deep, even with wholesale. Okay. For those people who've watched videos or anything and said, "Oh, you've got to spend $1,000. One, there are a lot of places that will allow you to buy much smaller than that. And two, if you have to spend something like $1,000 minimum, it does not have to be one SKU. So don't ever let that scare you away. And remember, the worst thing that can happen is they can say, no one's going to laugh at you. No one's going to call you names. No one's going to do anything like that. And the answer will always be no if you don't ask. So here's what we're going to do. Sales rank. I'm going to do the 90-day average, and I'm going to look for things that are between, say, 25,000 and 75,000. All right, in sales rank over the 90-day average. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I want to look for items that are stable. So I'm going to put in a -20 in the from column in the 90-day drop. And I'm going to put a 10% in the to column in the 90-day drop. Now, remember, if you remember from some of the old Keepa videos, this is creating a corridor for us. So it means that these products are going to have a 90-day average sales rank between 25,000 and 75,000, but I also don't want the 90-day drop percentage in the sales rank to be an increase of 20% or a getting better of 20%. And I don't want the sales rank to be getting any worse than 10%. So this should create a nice little corridor of sales rank for us. I do want Amazon to be out of stock at the moment. And I am going to go down, and in the buy box section, I want the 90-day average price in the buy box to be between, let's say, 17 and actually I'm going to go 20 and $35. All right. And you could do these across several bands. It doesn't have to be just 20 and $35. Maybe you want items that are between $10 and $15. Maybe you want them between $50 and $75. Play around with this. Whatever you want to do, you can do here. But I am going to create a price band. And so I want products where over the last 90 days, the price has maybe gotten better by 20%. So I'm doing that -20 because that gets me a better price. And I don't want the price to have dropped by more than 10%. So this now creates a price corridor where the average price needs to be between $20 and $35 over the past 90 days. But over the past 90 days, the price cannot have gotten better by more than 20%, and it cannot have gotten worse by more than 10%. Now, these are going to be averages, so you might see some big movements on the prices, but it's still going to stay within that corridor. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to go to a particular category. For today, I'm actually going to go to grocery and gourmet food category just because, I don't know, just for fun. So grocery and gourmet food category. So now I'm down to 2,291 products, which is a good thing. I don't want to be overwhelmed so that I'm not going to go through all of these. And that's the reason I want to narrow this down so much. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is in the new offer count. I really don't want to go through all of these and have to worry about the ones like High Key or some of the other private label grocery brands. So what I'm going to do is over the last 90 days, I want the average number of new sellers to be at least 3. All right. And this is going to bring me down to about 1,299 products. Now, you could probably bring this down to 2 because there are going to be some products where there's only 2 sellers on it. And this is going to get rid of some of the ones that are outliers and only have 1 seller and it's not being sold by the brand and things like that. But that's okay. We can always play around with this and figure it out later on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave that at 3 for now. And then here's the other thing. I really don't want to compete with Amazon when it comes to if I'm going to do some wholesale, okay? So what I'm going to do is this 90-day out of stock percentage, I really want Amazon to be out of stock at least 90% or more. So in the from column, I'm going to put 90%, and I'm not going to put anything in the to column. I'm going to leave that at infinity. And this means that I'm only going to see products where Amazon has been out of stock over the past 90 days, at least 90% of the time. And that's it. I now have 1,257 products to go looking through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start searching through these. Now, we've got Frontier and we've got Jelly Belly. And now here's one. This one is Mestamacher, I'm guessing. Pack of 6. This is a rye bread. I'm going to guess that this rye bread might last a little longer than what you might get in a lot of other places. I go ahead and open this up and look at it here. Looks like it is being sold by Amazon, it is being sold by a third-party seller with Amazon handling the fulfillment. This could be something that we go out and take a look at. Now, I would imagine that looks like I'm not approved at the moment, but this looks like something that's probably being purchased wholesale. I've seen this particular seller on Amazon before. There's a few sellers on this. Looks like 3 sellers at the moment, maybe 4 at the moment. And I can see that this has a little bit of extra to it. For example, subscribe and save and one-time purchases on here. So someone's taken a little bit of time to create the subscribe and save, although it doesn't save any money. It's all the exact same price. Okay. Now, here's what I would do with this. Number one, there's some obvious things that are wrong with this listing. For example, this picture, it sucks. This picture could be better. It could have more pictures, I would imagine. Yep, there are not any, does not look like there are any bullet points for this particular product. And I don't see anything for the actual details on the product. So this listing could be made much, much better. Now, it sells on a regular basis. This absolutely sells, and it sells well, okay? And the buy box history is pretty solid. It looks like 2808 was the buy box, and then it came down to 2299, 2309, and now it's back up to 27. So worst case scenario over the past 90 days is about a $4 drop. But I would imagine that this rye bread's got to be pretty cheap. Now, once you find a product like this, all it's going to be is going out to Google. So we're going to type in the brand name, Mestamacher. I'm probably saying that way wrong. And we can see we've got this at World Market, looks like Vitacost. And sure enough, here is the actual brand, Mestamacher. Let's see here. We've got news, product overview, gender equality. Let's see if we can find. Let's see what we can find here. Imprint, contact us. That's what I'm looking for, is the contact us. Now, looks like they're out of Germany, and they've got a phone number, they've got a fax number, they've got an export email, and they've got their website, and they've got a contact us form. This one's probably not the best one, but honestly, I'd stay up a little late, or actually, no, that's wrong. I would call them around as early as I could their time and reach out to them. It's nice and easy to call overseas phone numbers nowadays. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You can use things like Skype, where it costs you a few pennies or whatever other thing that you might need, and you can reach out to them via telephone, and hopefully someone speaks English, or you need to get out Google Translate. Otherwise, you could reach out to their contact us form. You could also take a little bit of time and you could scroll down a little bit through Google, and you might be able to find like Taste of Germany. This is probably a retail site, but maybe they have a wholesale here, so I'd look there. And I see HEB. That's something different. We've got Whole Foods, Stop and Shop. I'm going to go to page 2 where they hide all the dead bodies, and also profitable products for Amazon. I'm going to see Meijer and Walmart and Instacart, and then GMI Foods. This one interests me because, sure enough, they are a distributor. So now I might be able to reach out to them. They're in Berlin, Connecticut. They've got an 800 number, and perhaps I could reach out to them and grab the product from them rather than having to deal with somebody over in Germany. All right. So nice and easy. And of course, I don't know the price yet. Let's keep going. This is not a super difficult process. So we've got one beef chili with beans. Let's take a look at this. Sure enough, look at that buy box. That is the prettiest buy box line I've seen in a long time. $21.98 is the buy box on this, and has been since February. Came down from $22.79. Number of sellers is pretty consistent. Everyone seems to be playing along nicely. We're going to open this up on Amazon. Again, another one where this really is not the best listing. It doesn't say Cattle Drive Gold Beef Chili with Beans, 8 15-ounce. It really should say Cattle Drive Gold Chili with Beans, pack of 8 15-ounce, or 15-ounce pack of 8, something like that. The title really sucks on this. The pictures are not great. There's no lifestyle images. And these are all things that you could use if you reach out directly to the brand, okay? There's 7 FBA sellers. FBA looks to be who has the buy box at the moment. They've got 91 in stock. There are several variations, pack of 2, pack of 3. We go out and find out which one is actually selling through. Let's do the reviews here. Looks like the single pack is the one that's actually selling. So that's what I figured. Now, let's see if we can find this one as well. It's Cattle Drive gold. Let's see here. We've got Costco, Walmart, Food Ducate, eBay, Open Food Facts, Business Delivery. Let's see who else we've got here. Food Network. All right, nothing there. Let's go to page 3 before I click on one of these other. We're going to open this up. This is their Facebook page. So that's perfect. And let's see if there's anything else. All right, so nothing really there. So now I'm going to go Cattle Drive Chili website and just see if anything comes up. And it doesn't look like it. So this is one of those interesting ones. We've got Cattle Drive Chili right here at Cattle Drive Chili. It looks like they last made a post in 2015. So these people have no idea what they're going to, or how to handle online presence or anything like that, but they've obviously gotten into stores. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to start looking through their page to see if we can find some information. First thing I would do is I'd probably send them a message and see what we can find out if we actually send them a message. And that's all the information they have there. Going to look at photos, not really a lot there. So we're going to go back to home, and now we're going to start looking through this here. Check that out. Cattle Drive Chili does not have a website at this time. That's absolutely insane to me. All right, so we're going to go to all comments, and let's see. Dear Luis, where does your beef come from? The best chili on the planet. Cattle Drive Chili is only available in Costco. It's made exclusively for them. Each Costco makes a decision whether or not they will carry it. Kathy Felix, Consumer Affairs Coordinator, Hanover Foods Corporation. All right, so it looks like this is a brand from Hanover Foods. And so this may not be something that you can get anywhere except at Costco. That's good to know, although I think I saw it at a few other places. But I would probably reach out to them anyway and see what you could find. Only took a few minutes, and it might be a dead end there, but we can keep going. Sinfit is another one I'd look at. And then we've got all kinds here. Wild hibiscus flowers and syrup, Sabritas. Let's see here. I saw one a little bit earlier today that I was interested in, but may not be here any longer. But that's all the process is. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's not fancy, okay? It's easy to do. You come in, you find products that look interesting to you. Like this one, for example. This one fascinates me. I like products that are maybe a little harder to find or a little odd. This one is, of course, all in another language, Chinese. And I would imagine that if you can find a distributor for this particular product, you're probably also going to be able to find a distributor who sells other Chinese products as well. All right. So use this process, put it out into a POS or a standard operating procedure, give it to your virtual assistants, give it to your kid, your teenager, whatever it is, your intern, hire someone from a high school or a local college to do this for you, get all the information, and then you can just dial for dollars for these folks. So simple process, but I know that's something that not everyone will actually do. And you now have a leg up on those people because they're not doing this kind of work.